Everybody joins, we'll check who they are. Right, good evening everyone.
Good evening.
Everybody is here, aren't they? That was very polite. Everybody actually spoke to me.
Good evening.
She says,
Madam Chairman.
as always, no fire drills planned, but exits. So, no apologies for absence. Do we have any declarations of interest? So I'll go around and start. Paddy, do you have any?
No.
Nicola? No. Bob? Paul?
No.
Roger?
None that I'm aware of.
O303, Bristol Road.
What sort of interest is that?
I know the residents.
Okay. Janet?
None that I'm aware of.
And Sue?
None that I'm aware of either.
Perfect, thank you. Not a huge amount to report this evening. The 91 to 93 Nor Road, which I know is on the spreadsheet, and there was a retrospective application and there was a bit of confusion about what it's actually for. The case officers noted the coach house is no longer a part of the application. The walkway between the house and the coach house has been removed, so that's the change, just as an update. The other update we've got, which I think has probably been updated further since, is about West Hill Road surfacing. The update we've got is that there are going to be some night closures last week, the road markings. The majority of them have been done.
Including one that long.
There are still some outstanding, and I did see some cones out earlier today.
Yeah.
So I think that there are a few still to done, but basically most of the work has been done. I can see you, Sue, don't I?
Yeah.
Most of the work has been done, and it's just so much nicer to drive up. Sue?
Yes, looking at the original plan, they were going to resurface the road up to the entrance of the Downs. Well, they have stopped short. And in between where they stopped and the entrance to the Downs, there are still some, shall we say, dips in the road that need
crumbling,
attention.
I think is the word, Sue.
Yeah, I was trying to be polite. But yes, so in other words, they haven't finished what was on the original drawing.
Ah, see, I didn't think they were. I thought they were only around the triangle. Bob?
No.
They said they have them up to the Downs, you're right, and the sign and the authority to stop the traffic was to the end of the Downs. But they have stopped, you're right, at the top of the rise. But they're going to do the other side by the crossing, because the worst bit's outside the school itself. And they're going to do that as well, but I don't know when. But it might be worthwhile saying now, because it's about the road. I'm taking Steve Hogg all the way around Portishead next Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So if anybody's got anything, get it into me before then, because I'm going to take him round and make a list of all the issues that are still there.
So presumably you'll show him down road and the fact that it's crumbling.
Absolutely.
Are you talking lines and things as well, or are you just,
anything.
Yeah, okay.
Anything. So if anybody has got any issues, get them into me over the weekend and I can get them on the list. I can take them a tour around a little bit.
And you point out how to credit downsides. So if they have any plans to Stoke that's the entrance, that's the exit, that is.
Yeah.
And all the extra traffic that.
Well, it'll never happen, but anyway, yeah. I should be a free warrior by June.
What time?
11 o'clock.
Is that June by 11 o'clock?
Warrior to fight.
Right, thank you. Sorry, we were just turning the speaker on in case there's nobody online, so hopefully it's all, the recording's still working. Thank you for that. So yeah, so I'm guessing Bob will raise that.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Right.
Also, water on coming out of the road already
Brilliant.
Where?
on West Hill.
You're kidding.
No, they obviously damaged the water main or something.
So that will be dug up.
Yeah,
Cool.
that'll be the third. They've already patched it twice already.
Anyway, moving on. Next item on the agenda is Bristol Airport. So Paul Churchill's joined us to provide us an update in terms of their planning application and
Councillor Paul Churchill.
It's fine. Paul will have done.
Sorry, Janet, we don't tend to refer to each other by councillor.
I thought we were
here.
being polite this evening.
Sorry, Paul.
No,
Would you
don't
like
worry.
to give us your update?
Yeah, sure. So I'll keep it brief because there isn't a huge amount to report back on. So I attended the first meeting I attended of the PCAA, sort of Parish Council Airport Association, which covers a multitude of councils, both town and district, are all involved in it. And it was quite a lengthy call because they spoke in detail about some activity they had already put in. So they put in an objection to the expansion of the airport. And that went last year into judicial review and got rejected. And it got rejected on the grounds that they cited a load of environmental items that they felt the expansion was going to impact negatively. And the judge decided that was something that they could take a view on. It needed to be central government. And so they rejected it and basically said it needed to go to a higher authority. So that's the piece that they're talking about next, and that sort of brings me on to the key piece that I've been asked to bring up with our town council, and that is that whole process costs money, and so they've put a request out to all the town councils to say, financially, would you support them in their battle against the airport expansion? Now, they're talking about raising about £10,000, okay? But there was a guy called Joachim who's from Rington, and he's a lawyer. He's been all over it, and his view is that this will probably cost in excess of £750,000 to challenge. Okay, so £10,000 is a drop in the ocean, and his honest view would be it's going to have to be money that we would expect to probably lose, but only to spend in a supportive way. Okay, a couple of the other councils have said they're going to put in a couple of £1,000 each, but they're looking to raise about 10,000. So that's sort of really it. Okay, there's I've got a meeting next week with Joachim to try and get a bit more background on it, because obviously there's the first meeting I went to and they were talking about things that have happened in the past, so I didn't really, and it was quite a full meeting, so I didn't really get the opportunity to talk about to sort of catch up. So I'm gonna spend a couple of hours with him next week. He's given me some time, so I can gather a bit more background information. But they are going to be expecting a response back as to whether or not we would be in a position to support them financially with their challenge.
Can I ask a question first? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not letting Bob speak. No. Are they going to formally request a donation, or is you coming to speak to us the request?
That's the request. Yeah.
Okay. And are you expecting a response from this committee, or do you feel it needs to go to town council?
It's really it's informing you guys that that from a planning point of view, everything is up in the air at the moment.
Yeah.
It's looking like it's going to be a really big challenge.
Yeah.
It's going to have to go through the courts. It's going to have to go through lots of review and judicial review, and the total cost of that is going to be somewhere in excess of £750,000.
It's got to be found.
Yeah. And at the moment, their funds are £2,250.
Brilliant. Sorry, Paddy, go on.
Right, number of things. For a start, when we nominated you to join this committee, we were in the understanding that it was neutral. We looked at both sides of whichever argument it was. And going back 3 years, I think, when we had a consultation which was led by Polly and Bob, councillors were more or less evenly split between pro and anti expansion. So before you ask whether or not we want to contribute money, you'll need to find out whether or not we actually support it, because I'm by no means clear that we would.
Well, I think that's why I was asking whether we need to take it to full council and have a conversation.
Second question is it just North Somerset that attend this meeting, or is it Bristol as well?
I got the notes here. So it was Bristol. It went out as far as there was Timsbury, back over there, Kingston, Seymour, Dundry. So yeah, it was
Fairly wide.
it was much wider than just North Somerset.
But it seems to be a protest group, which I didn't realise.
It is, yes. The main driver is a group who are protesting against any expansion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob.
I have reason to believe the lowest ever judicial inquiry cost £700,000.
There we go.
So getting into that, it's just not something we want to even consider starting to be involved with. They're never going to win it anyway.
No, and that's Joachim's point. He said, with his legal hat on, he felt the likelihood of them being successful was very, very unlikely. Lots of things were going against them. They've carried out a noise review, so they looked at all the complaints about aircraft noise, and over the last 4 years it's dropped. So it's a difficult one for them to argue.
So if he, okay, oh yeah, I'll come to you, Roger. If he, as the legal expert, is saying there's no chance of success,
Not no chance.
well, very, very, very little chance of success, does that not have to be taken into consideration by the group as to whether or not to proceed? And I really, really, really,
Yes.
and I do struggle with this a little bit because I am aware that historically, on a much, much smaller local level, there have been a lot of conversations in previous planning meetings before our time where planning applications were approved or there were no objections because, oh well, if it goes to appeal, we'll never win, or it will cost too much to appeal. And I'm completely against that attitude.
Mhm.
But this is a lot of money and it's a massive.
Yeah, I think so. We have to look at it. The support, the financial support they're looking at the moment is just to keep them going.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't around taking it to judicial review. This is just to keep them going.
To keep the group going.
Keep the group going.
Okay. Well, yeah.
So my question was quite simple on this one. I'm obviously new to this. What's the makeup of the group? Where did they originate from?
So the parish council airport association is made up of councillors, from or representatives of councils, and they are there as a local government association supporting the BAAN, which are the actual group that are opposing it. Yeah.
Right. So they're a group of councillors supporting a pressure group.
Yes.
Essentially, yeah.
But when I say supporting, I don't mean supporting it as in they're supporting and they're in agreement, but it's being able to take their battle out to the local council.
Yeah, and I mean not having a great deal of experience with this, I'm not sure, but it sounds a little bit like they shot their bolt on the judicial review, which was done wrongly, and now they've run out of cash and they're looking for some more to try and do it better next time, which doesn't sound particularly promising.
It doesn't. It's, there are listening to the councillors that were on the call, and not all of them were on the call, but listen to them. There are a lot of them that are not in agreement with opposing the expansion.
Okay, so some members of the group are, okay. So I think we need to make a decision as to whether we want to have this conversation further with the wider council or whether
We think it's worthwhile. I
Or
think
whether-
the likelihood of us actually putting money into this is zero. Yeah.
Sorry, maybe we should ask the two questions. So the question is, do we support or not support? And the second question is, will we consider a donation or not a donation? Because to me, at the end of the day, if we do decide to support and provide finance, then that could lead to a whirlwind of issues with the residents who might be for or against.
Yeah, I'm struggling with us making any kind of decision on anything now, and this is not your fault, Paul. I kind of just thought we were going to get a bit of an update. So I think, and I know you haven't asked us to, but I think we making a decision as to whether we support this is outside of this meeting. So I think what we need to do is maybe have conversations as a council.
It will be the next council, our last official council meetings next week, and the agenda is finished.
Okay, so yeah, maybe that's what we need to do, is carry that as a decision forward for goodness me, I sound like one of the old councillors last time, who I think said that for about 4 months. And we'll just leave it up to the next lot to deal with.
I think we really have
Yes,
no
I think you're
choice.
right. I think we're probably too late to add it to the next council meeting. So yes, I think that's something that we can propose that do we need to vote on adding that? To carry that forward? No, so that will just be something to bear in mind for the next town council meeting. So
Can I just ask, would it be too late for the next council? I'm just curious.
Oh, as to what the timescales are for the.
Yes.
I would imagine timescales for judicial review so are not fast.
Okay.
And particularly if they've got to raise that sort of money.
Lovely. Okay.
We've probably
So-
got years.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
I was
Thank you.
expecting talk out to be on the 15th, and it's next week. I'm normally used to have it in the middle of the month. Sorry.
The
Yeah,
second-
no, I'm just wondering why. I'm
It's
just
because
wondering why
it just happens that that's the second Wednesday of the month, I think, isn't it? Always the second Wednesday, because we're only on
because
the
we're on the
first.
1st, yeah, I suppose, second year.
Okay, so we're agreed that we will, this is a conversation that needs to be had further with the wider council. Thank you though, Paul, that's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
really interesting.
Thank you very much.
Are you staying or are you going to leave?
Should you say, or should
Entirely
you-
up to you.
I'll stay.
Okay, thank you.
I'll stay.
It's such fun.
Public participation, we have no members of the public, so we will move on to consider and approve the minutes of the last meeting. A couple of things from me. I just want to say thank you to Sharon and to Bob and all of you really, but for kind of sorting out chairing and sorting out the meeting at very short notice when I tested positive about an hour and a half before the meeting was due to start last month. So yes, my apologies to you all and to the residents who I'd promised I would be here and speak to.
That's right.
So
When people heard that you had COVID, everybody was really
relieved that I wasn't
You
here.
had not turned up.
I think it was the most people we've had to a planning meeting.
Yes, and I am
So-
sorry, and I felt awful.
You would
That
have
was-
liked us in the room full.
That was one of the reasons I tested, because I knew it was going to be lots of
Yeah.
people here, so
They
amongst
did know
others.
and they did understand.
Thank you. And the other thing just to note is that Lynn Morrissey, I think the minutes when they were printed came out with her husband's name on. Sharon's already amended that, so just in case Lynn happens to watch this video back. So thank you for that. So I wasn't here. So has anyone got anything they'd like to say about the minutes from last time? No. Can we have a proposer for approving them, please? Go on, Bob, as you chaired, and Roger second.
Yeah.
All those in favour? So that's everyone except me, because I wasn't here. Right, thank you. Now we will move on to the planning applications. So the first one we are looking at is, sorry, I'm just going to fiddle with my spreadsheet, is 87 Hillside Road. This is one where we are probably no doubt going to have some conversations. This is one that I've been to have a look at. They've already started the work, despite their application form claiming they haven't. And the garage, it's for a garage to be built in front of the property. The garage is very much smaller than the North Somerset parking standards that they do have for garages.
It isn't, and I printed them out.
It is.
Don't argue.
It's smaller if you consider it to be a double garage. It's not smaller if you consider it to be a single garage.
It's not
20.
6 metres long. It's less than 5 metres.
It's 6 metres wide.
Yes, and you can't get a car unless it's a smart car.
Yes, you can. I had a garage like that, which had a door on one side. you have to manoeuvre it, and you have to take them in and out in an order. There's no reason why you can't park 2 cars.
I was talking to my husband about the actual average width of a car and everything else, and I can't see how you can actually wriggle a car around through that door so that you could park 2 cars in there.
Well, my car is only, I looked it up,
But is it their intention?
3.6 metres long.
How many?
But I'm thinking about
The garage is 4.9 metres.
And is it their intention to park a car in it?
Well, but that's kind of irrelevant, really, if they're calling it a garage.
And there are
standards for garage. And am I not mistaken, am I not right in thinking that actually they have on the application stated it's a double garage?
Yeah.
So the parking standards should be those of a double garage.
So I can't see how they can put 2 cars in there.
No.
Well, you could. No reason why
Especially
you
the second one
couldn't.
went in
It's that,
quickly.
The wriggle round.
it isn't easy, but I used to do it daily.
I think with one that's narrow, because for instance, my car, I measured we all obviously have all measured our cars. I measured my car and actually I measured Ian's, which is slightly smaller. And yeah, you could just about, if you were to just park it straight in, you could just about get it in with barely any room either side. So to then kind of manoeuvre it round on a door
Yeah,
that's there.
you'd have to have a smaller
You'd
car
struggle.
on the other side. Yeah,
And
I-
also move one to get the other.
Well,
one.
I mean, I think even
Oh,
getting
yes.
one in, you'd struggle. So that's why I said I objected. There are 2 of us that objected, and there are 4 people that didn't object.
Sorry, I didn't get to put my comments on the objecting side as well.
And I'm still.
You're still objecting, Roger?
So if it doesn't meet the parking standards which are laid down, then I'm happy to change to an
But
objection.
we could not object, subject to meeting
Yeah.
their parking standards, and then it's up to them to decide.
But we already know that it doesn't.
Was there not a comment
Depends
about?
You see, it depends whether floor area 20 square metres takes precedent over whether it's width, and, we don't have the full information. It actually says a garage has to be so much floor area. Whether that's the overriding consideration, I don't know.
If that's 20 square metres.
No, it's actually for a double garage, if you say it's double garage, it's 38.
Yeah, but if that was 38 metres long and 1 metre wide, it would be fully unsuitable for
Oh,
a garage. So
absolutely.
there's got to be a second consideration in that beyond
Yeah.
square footage. Yeah.
Paddy, have you got the plans there in front of you? Sorry, I can get them up, but obviously it might take. What were the measurement? Can you see what the measurements were? And bear in mind, I think these are external measurements.
Yes, it was 4.9 metres deep. And the width isn't given exactly.
But the width of the door is.
It's, it's 3 metres plus 1.4 plus some, but it's not clear.
So about 5 metres?
No, it'd be probably more
Or
than
6
that.
metres?
5.5, say.
Okay, so 5.5 times 5, roughly.
25. It's not enough.
It's not big enough, is it?
Double
It's
garage.
not, definitely not.
There's also a comment I noted that somebody said it's compromising visibility, sightlines number 85 as well.
Yes, that was me, because it is right up to the edge of the path, and the neighbour's drive is next door to
It's
the.
not being practical. If you go up Hillside Road, there's cars parked both sides. So you've got plenty of room
Yeah, it's
to
not.
poke out until you get beyond the parked cars. And that's why I'm in favour, because there are parked cars on both sides of Hillside Road all the time now.
I also mentioned the visibility, but for me it was more about the pavement. The pavement.
You won't find many people walking up Hillside Road, believe me.
So I think we need to determine really how many of us object and how many don't object to be able to then come to some kind of vote. So if we go around the room just to see how many there are, I'm still objecting. Paddy, you're not objecting, I assume. Nicola?
I'm objecting.
Bob?
No.
Roger?
Yeah. I'm on the fence. I mean, I'm quite happy to go either way, but we need to do something about
Yes.
the garage. Yes.
I'm objecting.
Janet?
I'm objecting.
Objecting.
Yeah, so that's 5 objecting and 2, maybe 3, no objections. Goodness, this is the first contentious one we've had for a while, isn't it?
It's not really contentious, we're
Well,
just
it's contentious in
discussing
that we're
it.
not agreeing it. So, I mean, on that basis, we have to say that we object on the basis that the majority of people object.
But on
So,
the
reason-
there was a-
size of the garage.
so yeah, the reason from my point of view, there are 2 reasons. One is the size of the garage doesn't comply with parking standards.
Thank you.
And the other is that it could cause visibility problems for neighbours. I'd also like to add to the comment, not that it matters to whether we object or not, that the work has already started and is very well into. So it could be that our objection means nothing anyway, but
Well, they have to lock it down,
yeah.
which jolly well think so if they've started without planning.
So
Janet, you are harsh.
this, anyway,
I think so, as Janet.
can we get back
We're
to,
both
so
fine.
Sharon, can you just read out what we're saying? please?
Yeah, okay. Well, so far we've got size of garage does not comply with parking standards, and it could cause visibility problems for the neighbours. I don't know whether you want to put a little bit more in there that when they leave as they leave their properties or something.
Yeah, so can you add a bit to the bit about parking standards? Particularly, can you say it doesn't comply with North Somerset parking standards, particularly for a double garage?
Does it actually use the word double garage?
Yes, it does. If they called it a workshop, it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I thought it was cracking. I could get a caterer in one way and a workshop with a machine to the side.
That's
And-
right.
and-
That's what he's going to do.
And I don't disagree, but unfortunately the plans are for a double
Yeah,
garage.
we can't sadly make assumptions, but yeah, I'm a bit dubious of this, but. That's what
And
I'm
then, yeah, so Sharon.
So what I've done is I've put objection size of the garage does not comply with North Somerset Council's parking standards for a double garage and could cause visibility problems for the neighbours as they leave their properties.
Okay, so I propose that we go with that.
So are we
I
mentioning
am
about the
happy.
work that's already started?
Well, we can add that we can note that we note that the work has already started, I think, but we can't say we object on that basis.
And I'm happy to second.
Okay, so all those in favour?
6. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right, the rest should be a walk in the park. So the next one is 141 Heron Gardens. I should have added actually on that other one, not that it really matters, but there are 2 comments supporting it, so.
Yes, indeed there are.
Heron Gardens, there is 1 comment online supporting, and we had no objection, so I propose we say we have no objection to this one.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sue, second. All those in favour? Everybody? The next one is not Branchway. The next one is the Acorns on Esplanade Road. There are no online comments on this one, and although some of us had comments, none of us had any objections to this one, so I propose no objection. Nicola, thank you for seconding. All those in favour? Sorry, Paddy.
I think they may have started as well.
Oh, really? Paddy, did you agree with that one?
Oh, yes, sorry, I had my hand
Was that
up.
majority, yeah?
That was all, yeah. Sorry, the next one, am I going too far, Sharon?
No, right. That's why I left myself some big gaps.
Yes, 257 Down Road. There are a couple of online comments on this one. One is supporting and one is neutral. And we also have 1 person objecting, but 4 of us not objecting to this one. Who was it who was going to view it again? Was that you, Sue?
Yes, yes.
No, Sue hasn't filled in there.
Yes,
Haven't
she
I?
has.
Oh,
I think she has.
I thought I had.
SM, basically
Yes,
rebuild.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you haven't filled in the.
No,
Ah, okay, on here.
because that was, what I was going to sort of look again, but I haven't had a chance to do that.
Okay.
Been rather busy,
So,
but I don't really like it at all.
Well, neither do I, Sue, but
I know, but it was a question of trying to look at the existing building and look at the proposed building, which is much bigger, and thinking, will it look right? And I still don't think so.
Okay, and you've said the same, haven't you?
I was concerned about the height of it.
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
it's got quite a lot higher.
Yeah.
And I also don't like it, but that's not a
yes.
planning consideration, unfortunately. But yeah, the best I could come up with is that I think that it looks as if it's too high and therefore not in keeping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have anything they want to say or to change their view?
I think the fact that it's higher is, compared to what's around it, I don't think that's a good enough reason to object. It is higher, I agree.
Yeah,
But
no,
does it
I
matter?
was stretching for an objection, to be totally honest.
Yes, I mean, I think because it is much higher, I mean, that is actually, I think, a good reason, because it will sort of stand out. But as I had put in our notes, that looking at it, none of the windows had any openings. So therefore, there would be no ventilation.
Well, most windows have trickle vent, so anyway.
Yeah, but they're so tiny.
What
So
about
tiny.
fire issues if they
Is
didn't
it?
open?
Yeah.
North
and-
Somerset Council would be covering that sort of thing.
Yes, I think, and that's the thing, isn't it? The plan. And what I was going to say is we could say that we have no.
Building rigs.
Yeah, and whoever, but that's not for us, is it? So at the moment, Roger, you're objecting, Sue, you're in two minds about objecting, but then four of us said we had no objection.
Yeah.
So I would propose that we say we have no objection unless anyone wants to really argue further. No? Okay, can I have a seconder for that then? Thank you, Bob. So all those in favour? No? Okay. Thank you. It is a tricky one, isn't it? Right, where are we now? We are on 40 Lower Down Road, I think. Yes, we are.
Yeah.
This is an MMA. Don't we just love an MMA? No online comments.
You've missed Brampton Way, haven't you? Oh, sorry.
No, that's next.
No.
Sorry. Sorry, lower. Yeah,
There are
sorry.
two lower down
Yeah.
ones.
No
Yeah.
online comment.
No online comments. None of us had any objection. The tree warden had no problems. Tree warden. So I propose that we say we have no objection to this one. Thank you, Bob C. Seconding. All those in favour? Now we're on Brampton Way. Again, no online comments, and we all had no objection, so I propose no objection. Can I have a seconder? Thank you, Janet. All those in favour? Thank you.
I'm not going to get a look into that.
Sorry, I can see you, but I'm just, Janet's just quicker. Needs to be quicker.
There you are.
Right, 40 Lower Down Road. There's lots of down roads and lower down roads on this one, which really confused me. I completely agree, Paddy. I'm surprised they needed planning permission at all, and you consider some of the things that go through on permitted development. But obviously they did. There are no online comments, and we also we had no objection, so I proposed no objection for that one. Roger got there first. Sorry, all those in favour? Right, 10 Rally Rise.
Now we've got another down road first.
Oh yeah, 2 to 5 8 down road. See, that's what I said. There's too many down roads. Right, this one there was one online comment supporting, but they were raising concerns about disruption when the work's carried out, which I think is perfectly justified. But obviously North Somerset Council will bear that in mind. We had no objection, so I proposed no objection. Thank you, Sue. All those in favour? Rally Rise. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. Another one that some people don't like, but no planning reasons, and there are no online comments. So we all said we had no objection, all those that commented, so I propose no objection. Thank you, Nicola. All those in favour?
How do you do that?
Well,
See out the side of your head?
I'm a mum, Bob.
No, she works in a teaching situation. You know exactly what's going on behind
I
you
know,
as
I
a
know
teacher.
everything that's going on all around me.
Peripheral vision becomes highly tuned.
As a teacher, yes.
Right, 7 Lapwing Close, no online comments. Again, no problem from the tree warden, all those who responded.
It's not on this one.
Charlton
Yeah.
Rise. Charlton Rise, have I missed that one?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to fly through now. Right, Charlton Rise, that's right, sorry, I did see that and then I jumped ahead. There are no objections from any of us. The tree warden has said there are some TPO trees on the back of the site. So the plans as shown suggest the work's well away from the trees, but their roots would need to be protected. So I propose for this one that we say we have no objection, subject to TPO
Thank you.
tree roots being fully protected during the work.
And I would second that.
Thank you, Sue.
Tanya, I appreciate that.
That's all right, all those in favour? Thank you, right, Lapwing Close. This is another one I was surprised at having to have planning applications for.
It's extraordinary,
Yeah,
isn't it?
no online comments, we had no objection.
It's because it's to the front elevation.
So I propose no objection. Can I have a seconder? Thank you, Janet.
And yet you can put another story on top
All those in favour?
under permitted development. It's just crazy.
That's everyone. Thank you, everyone. Right, we just move on now to some late planning applications. There is only actually
What about
one.
Bristol Road?
Oh, I'm doing it again.
You are trying.
I'll tell you
No, it's
why.
fine.
I'll tell you why, because it's gone really, really teeny tiny on the spreadsheet.
Yes.
Yeah, so I don't know
I don't
why.
think anybody's put any.
Oh, nobody, was that not a late one that came in?
Yes, I think it was.
Yes, that one's come in late actually, Sharon, and it looks like that only one person's had a chance to do it.
I confirmed it on the
I had a
spreadsheet
quick
today, didn't
look.
it?
Yeah,
Yeah. I did
so,
look at it the other day because it was on the agenda,
No,
but
I think
it wasn't
actually,
on the spreadsheet, but I
it
updated
wasn't,
it
yeah,
tonight.
Roger's right. I went away on holiday and I didn't put it on the spreadsheet.
so are we too late to ask for a time extension, or can we just, do we just say that we won't respond to this one? I think it looks fairly,
What did you think,
Straightforward.
Roger?
I didn't see any problems with it.
Roger
It
said he
looks-
had no
I
objection.
mean, plenty of houses along there have had a similar extension. It goes up to the border, as long as there's no objections from the neighbours that it butts up to, then I don't see any reason why not to.
Well, there are common along there. You're right.
I should think if any comments, Lynn Morrissey would be on screen if she was concerned.
Yeah,
And
so
she's
I
only-
mean,
she's
I'm
only a
willing to
few
do no
hours as well.
objection subject to.
just subject to
Oh, I
neighbours.
can't comment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
the one
and I
where you
would,
said you can't comment, Bob.
No,
Yeah, and
sorry.
I would support them.
So
Yeah, second them.
are people, before I actually put that to the vote, are people who haven't had a chance to look at it happy for me to do that, to suggest we've got,
I won't vote, but you're very welcome to, because
Okay.
I haven't looked at it.
yeah, no, that's fine, yeah, I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
I don't want to put it to the vote if literally only Roger's going to vote.
and I also looked at it very quickly, just before it came.
Yes,
to
no, and
meeting.
I've done the same, I've looked at it but not actually commented on it, so,
And I haven't looked at it,
okay.
but
Three.
if as the report is that it's very similar to the ones that are already there, I'm prepared to take it as long as there's no complaints from neighbours.
Okay, so if I propose no objection, as subject to no objections from neighbours, which, you know, they would look at anyway,
Yeah.
can somebody second me on that one? Thank you, Roger. So all those in favour? Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry, I keep skipping them.
Yes, I'll be an abstain.
It's you and Bob, is it? Yeah? Bob
Yeah,
declared
Bob-
an
He's
interest.
declared an interest.
Yeah, I have an interest. Sorry.
So now we're moving on to the late planning applications. There is only one, actually, that is one we need to look at in the spreadsheet. They're all in pink, as you can probably see. And that is 23 Severn Road. Again, Roger has had a chance to look at this one, but nobody else has.
I have.
Oh, have you? Did you, what were your thoughts?
Fine.
Yeah. I mean, we can either ask for a time extension on this one so more people can look at it, or we can do exactly what we've just
Where
done
do I find it on this lot?
with the last one. On what, sorry?
It won't be there.
It's not on the agenda,
It's
Janet,
not
it's a
there
late
because it only
application.
came in this week.
I'd rather it on the time. It's only one.
Yeah.
It's not.
No,
you know,
yeah,
sometimes we end up with like
Yeah.
6 or 7. So
yeah, so
It's not
can
gonna
we
make any
apply?
If,
Ask for a time extension.
if I can say that this one, which is the one I'm thinking of, there is a conservatory at the back, what they're basically doing is putting an extension where the conservatory is and putting the conservatory, in other words, beyond. So in other words, just sort of making a gap between the house and the conservatory and putting a single story.
Right, okay.
Can I ask where this is? What address?
23 Severn Road.
Severn Road. Yeah.
Right.
23
It's on the spreadsheet, so it'll be one. If we propose that we put a time extension on, and then it's one that you can look at in time for the next meeting, assuming they give us the time extension.
To be honest, if it was somewhere like my road, I'd know exactly what the houses looked at, and I could make a decision.
So
but
that's why I'm
Severn
saying
Road is so different.
Yeah. So I
would want
propose
to.
that we request a time extension. Bob's happy with that? All those in favour? Lovely, thank you everyone.
And what about the other ones, Tanya? Did you like to-
So the other ones I will just go through. They are, like I said, they're non-statutory consultations. So we, I think, need to just acknowledge that we have no that we're not statutory consultees on them. Can we just give them one at a time, Sharon? Or can I do them all?
I've just, do them, well, yeah. Do you want to read mine?
I've got a minute.
Okay.
But do we need to do them one at a time?
Yeah, I've just.
Okay, so the first one is 21 Caithness Close, which is a certificate of lawful development to demolish the existing brick steps to the front of the property to create a parking space with drop curbs, permeable hard standing. I'm losing my voice, I'm so sorry. Construct a landscape structure suitable for a green living wall, including integrated irrigation, external lighting and EV charging points. We're not a statutory consultation, so I propose that we just note that we're not a statutory consultee. Has anyone got an issue with that?
No, it sounds really lovely, actually.
Okay, so I propose, anyone second? All those in favour? Thank you. I didn't see who seconded that time, sorry.
Paddy, just put Paddy down, otherwise she'll get upset.
Right, the next one is 32 High Street. Again, we're not statutory consultees. This is just a change of use to the rear part of the ground floor from retail use to one residential dwelling, class C3. Now, we no longer have to be consulted on this.
Where's this?
32 High Street.
Where's that?
At number 32.
Oh, come on. Where's
I don't
32?
Yeah, I've got no idea
I thought it was
how the
the
numbers
new,
really run.
Well, that's the Chinese takeaway, the new estate agents, is it?
Could be.
Ah, yes, it would be. Yes.
Okay, so I propose that we just note that we have we're not statutory consultees on this.
Because if you remember, we looked at that.
Can I have a seconder for that one, please? Thank you, Paddy. All those in favour? Thank you. Next one is 3 Beechwood Drive. This is just trees. I can read them all out, but yeah, tree warden will look at them. So again, just acknowledging that we don't we're not consultees on that one. So thank you, Bob. All those in favour? Thank you. And we've done Severn Road. So the next thing on the agenda are double yellow lines outside both Victoria Court and a property in 4th Avenue. You will all have the documents that came through on the email from Sharon. What I was going to propose on this, unless anybody has any burning questions or objections, is that we basically do as the recommendation said, consider them and just progress the proposals with the district councillors for the two sites, because it would have to go through them and then on to North Somerset for the ultimate decision. So I think our bit is very kind of minimal. So if everyone's happy with that, then I've just proposed that.
Is there any assumption, do you know, that it's got to be the district councillor for that, or can it be a district councillor for Portishead?
I think it's got to be the ward council.
The ward
So that's
councillor, so
Timmy.
you just have to put it to them then.
It's usually the ward councillor, or it can be the one next to it.
Just asking.
Found yourself.
Whoa, guys, can we just remember we're still in a meeting? Sorry, thank you. Victoria Court is north. 4th Avenue is that also north, that side of the road, or is that east?
Where's
East.
4th Avenue?
I think it's east.
East.
Yeah.
East.
Yeah. So I think we propose.
Next to Waverley Court.
Yeah. We propose that we refer these to the relevant district council. Sorry, Rod.
It's okay. I'm just wanting to clarify whether or not we're looking at these to see if they have merit.
We can do, but I think double yellow lines are something that we have discussed with North Somerset Council and each other in probably about 60 different sites across Portishead. And ultimately, what we say doesn't really impact on what actually happens. I mean, I haven't looked at the Fourth Avenue one in that much detail. It's quite hard to see properly without actually going to look at it. The Victoria Court one, I think, from what I've seen personally, I think it's more than acceptable. But unless you, so yeah, if you've got anything.
I just felt the Victoria Court one, they seem to want to have double yellow lines all the way down the road, both sides there. And then I just thought that was a bit much. I thought we could, I know it's narrow, but you could probably get away with just putting them down one side rather than both.
Well, I think what they want to do is, on the one side, is just, there's already double yellow lines there on the corner, and they just want to kind of extend them slightly further. Is that, yeah, slightly further round.
You can see why they want to do the ones opposite the road going in, because coming out of that must be quite hard if there's cars parked over the other side. So I agree with that one, and I agree with the other one, both of those where there are cars coming out of a road. I would agree with those. I think they're sensible.
Okay, so that, I mean, that would, my proposal, as I said, would be to pass it on to the district councillors. So are you?
Timmy is the one.
And the East Ward councillor for Fourth Avenue.
Caritas.
Yeah. Can we put those through based on one recommendation?
We could try Kat.
So that's my proposal. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Bob. All those in favour? Thank you. And I assume, Sharon, that will be, you'll just do what you need to do. Thank you.
So I'm just reminding Janet she was in a recorded meeting.
So the next item on the agenda is North Somerset Council, their strategy to manage flood risk. An 8-week consultation has been launched. Views are encouraged to help update North Somerset Council's local flood risk management strategy. Consultation closed midday on the 6th of April and consists of 7 parts. We need to decide whether we want to respond to the consultation, and if so, whether anybody wants to volunteer to respond to the consultation on behalf of. Bob, are you putting yourself forward, or are you?
Yeah, because obviously I've been involved with the public on the flooding around Portishead. I think it's imperative that we do get involved in this.
So would anybody like to join Bob in responding to this consultation? Roger?
It is fairly high level. That's a joke, isn't it? I'm sorry. I'm not sure that the consultation is actually going to help the problems that you're...
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the issue of Lipgate, the information that had to be brought up for that was
problem.
massive.
I think when you look at the consultation, you struggle to see how it's going to affect anything you're interested in. That, by all means.
Is it to do, can I ask a question, Paddy? Would you think it's to do with planning decisions on floodplain?
It will be a mass of different things. So it will be, I mean, it will be obviously, like you say, flooding. I'm not great with words. So coastal flooding will be another issue as well. So
I think it's
going to be a massive range.
for us to go to that meeting.
No,
but I'm not sure.
It's
a consultation. It would be important to be part of that consultation, but I can't see that I would be the right person to do that because I don't know enough about it.
Definitely need someone.
7 parts to it.
Yes, it would be massive.
So Bob and Roger have both kindly volunteered. Is 2 people enough?
I would have thought, 3. It's going to be quite big.
Yeah. Okay. So can I recommend then that we form a group? Yeah. To respond to the consultation, and do I have to vote on that before I then say who they are?
And then send it to the rest of the committee.
Yes, please. Can you? Yes. So can the 3? So the recommendation is that there is a working party set up, and that working party to consist of Paddy, Roger and Bob C. And they will come up with a response which they will forward to the rest of the committee just to have a look at before submitting. Okay.
6th, you say?
6th of April.
Yes, so it will need to
Got
come
one.
through. So can I have a seconder for that proposal, please? Thank you, Janet. All those in favour? Thank you. Sorry, I'm stumped.
Actually, I do think that's the right group of people.
Right, so the next item on the agenda is the
I always think other people are the right group of people.
is the bus lane proposals
I would put
for
myself forward.
Smartcombe Road. This is one where we unfortunately didn't respond to the consultation. Sorry, this is the time where I start to. But we weren't actually given an awful lot of time to do so. And actually, we've had a correspondence from the chairman of Portby Parish Council. They, it seems, didn't get consulted at all,
That's correct.
which is outrageous. So I don't need to read you everything, the proposals. We need to decide what we're going to do, basically. We need to, I think, have a look at the proposals. My proposal would be that we speak to Portbury and confirm that we support their letter, their comments, but we also need to submit our own responses. Yes, Paddy.
I think you've written plenty already about it.
My only concern, and I had the same thought, is that I could just do a
You could
letter.
just do it.
My only concern is that I've kind of publicly done that already. Does that matter?
I don't
It's
think
not
so.
like I've commented on social media about this on a local, not local, what's it, Facebook page, amongst other things.
I don't think that
I
matters.
don't think that, I just questioned whether that means I've kind of predetermined. But if I come up with something and then send it to everybody else to
Yes,
agree,
Yes.
then is everybody happy?
Yes.
for
And
me
I
to do
think
that?
you're so familiar with the problem being it
It's
on your commuter route.
Well, it's on, it impacts me both ends, and I drive that road twice a day, every day, so,
Yes, I notice you've been having frequent exchanges with Don Davis.
yes, Bob.
I
Sorry,
formally
Bob, I
wrote
did something.
to North Somerset Business, no, what was it, Bus
Bus service improvement
Programme,
plan.
whatever it is.
Yeah,
I'll just tell you this. So I sent an email to the person who's running it, which is now Rob Thompson. I got an email back saying he was on holiday and he would be back whenever, and to send it to somebody else. So I sent it to somebody else and I got an email back to say he's not in and he'll be back on such and such a day. So they coordinated well. So I sent an email to Steve Hogg saying, I'm going to bloody talk to you about this when you come up,
perfect.
because it's just ridiculous.
So sorry, Bob, I haven't forgotten your promise. Just because you mentioned Steve Hogg, I have also recommended that residents contact Steve Hogg
Yeah.
if they've got any concerns, because this is one of those consultations where they're not consulting with residents. They've consulted with local authorities, some, not all, with local councils, some, not all, but they haven't consulted with residents. And actually, I think that's a massive, massive error. I think it's outrageous. So I've suggested that people respond to the BSIP email address, whatever it is, and copying in Steve Hogg. So that's just putting that out there. Bob C, go on.
I think we should organise a meeting with Portbury, and we need to hear Portbury's side as well. I think a meeting's necessary, but then it's just my opinion.
Well, I think we've already established we agree with them, so I think we probably don't need to necessarily at this point meet with them. But I think maybe if things progress and if North Somerset ignore us, and then we meet with Pill Parish Council and Portbury Council, I think.
I'm really concerned with the deviousness of what's going on. Obviously, a lot of you know that I'm one of the All Aboard the 56. We haven't seen Carl's for the last 8 months, even though we're constantly emailing and asking him to respond. And this whole bus thing seems to be blowing out. And like Tanya said, there's no consultation with the public. And that's the most important thing, because obviously at the end of the day, they're the users, they're the people who get on the bus and they pay the bills.
Paddy?
I think if you look at our response to the active travel consultation, there is a part of it which is relevant where we said you need to get the buses to be frequent and reliable first, and then start spending money on infrastructure. So if you look at what we've already written somewhere.
I mean, they will argue that they are now increasing the X4 to every 20 minutes rather than every.
But that wasn't the case when they wrote this.
No, and also, as John Davis pointed out to me today, the bus fares are only £2, and I pointed out only if you are in Pill.
Yes.
If you're in Portishead, they're not, because we're not in the Bristol zone, and actually that area, that stretch of road is the road to Portishead or to the motorway. So saying that the people from Pill can get to Bristol for £2, there's no relevance to this stretch of road at all, because they wouldn't be going on that bit of road.
It is brief, so I'll just read what we said, if that's relevant.
I was going to say, we're just going to say, just for the minutes in the meeting, can we have some indication of what the concerns are that you're supporting?
Let me just say what's written down and see why you use it. Basically, we said it was not a good idea. They are not used heavily, but people who do use them find them invaluable, saving journey time and hence emissions. If you want to attract cyclists or extra bus services, then you'd have to reduce the speed as well, and the lanes are currently 60 miles an hour.
No, that was the answer to a different one.
That was the rural routes one, wasn't it?
Oh, that's a rural route.
Yes,
Okay.
that's the wrong question.
Well, but honestly, I can look it up, it's fine.
Yeah,
I'll
okay,
look
well,
it
we
up.
did put it in.
Yeah, and I'm sure, or you can send it to me.
Okay.
Right, one last thing, Janet.
My concern is that
Sorry, Bob, you have spoken on this a few times.
The issue here is a bit wider. Of course, the problem with Clevedon was that it was government money which they had to apply for, and they got. And this is also something that they've applied for from government, and they've got money to do things with bus lanes and cyclists. Now, if they just go and ride roughshod over us like they did over Clevedon, I think they can expect the same sort of result. And I don't think that they should be doing this. They should be consulting the residents, and they should be taking notice of the residents. I don't care whether they've got money from central government they're supposed to spend. If they're spending it in the wrong way, then that's a waste of money and is going to upset people.
Yeah, thank you, Janet.
Did you want to summarise the issues?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Bob, did you have anything brief that you wanted to add?
I was just going to say, like we said at the beginning of this meeting, although the services have been announced by First, we still don't know where they are going, what the routes are, and I think that's the concern of the public. Is we are the last to hear, and we have less than 4 weeks now before this goes live.
Thank you. That I think is slightly different because that's to do with the bus timetables.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, totally. Right, so Sharon, what I would like to say is, I haven't got the Portbury letter in front of me actually. Do we need to go into detail or just say that we fully support?
Just so that you've got some detail in the minutes or on the recording.
So I'd like to recommend that we formally write to, I think we should write to Portbury.
Oh, yes.
Formally write to Portbury Parish Council in full support of their recent correspondence regarding the bus service improvement plan, in particular the, whatever it is, Marchcombe Road A369 bus lane proposal, yeah. And that additionally, I will write a similar letter that I will share with the rest of the group before then we'll send that on to North Somerset Council.
Okay.
Does that sound all right?
Yeah, it was just what the concerns were. I was just going to try and put a little bit of the concern in that Portbury had.
We could be here all night about the concerns.
I think nothing we can briefly that the proposed bus lane will cause more congestion.
Rather
it
than
will
less.
cause more delays to the buses because they won't be able to join the A369, and the buses are so infrequent. It's
People
I'm trying to
will be
think of
tearing
something
their hair
blunt.
out.
It's not worthwhile.
No. And are they going to have to knock half the old houses down either side as well?
No.
And it will be dangerous for cars to turn south onto the M5 because they'll have to cross the bus lane.
You know, Janet, they're talking about making use of an existing lane.
Yes, I know. I was only partially
And
joking.
there aren't any houses either, so I think that,
I know.
right, is that okay?
That's fine, I just
Okay.
wanted to put something in to.
So that's what I propose. Can I have a seconder, please? Thank you, Sue. All those in favour? Thank you, and I will try and get that done as soon as I can. Other than that, we've got some planning applications we don't need to consult. Oh, then we move on to the electric vehicle strategy. We're just noting that one for information. There is a draft strategy for increasing the uptake of electric vehicles. I've had a look at it. Very loaded questions, in my personal opinion. I'll say no more. So decisions, not many on there. I'm usually more, aren't there? So matters for next meeting, late planning applications and consultations, unless anyone's got anything they want to add to the next meeting. No, thank you very much, everybody.
We're
Date of
half
the
a minute over.
The last meeting.
The date of the next meeting is Wednesday, the 5th of April, 2023. This meeting is now closed at 8:31.